Oh, the power, the performance, the might. Yeah, I know. Guys, this just in. It's a 2020 Mazda 2. No, it's not. It's a 2020 Toyota Yaris. It's based on the Mazda 2. I mean, it is completely the Mazda 2, just with different emblems, basically. And this is an actual surprise for me. I know, it's a tiny little engine, tiny little car. Nathan likes big, mean, muscle cars. I actually really like small cars. And I've driven the older version of the Mazda 2. I've also driven the other older versions of the Toyota Yaris. Now, this is a different beast. Part of which is the fact that it has a fairly anemic engine, and we'll get to that when I stop. It also has a 6-speed automatic transmission, and there is no option for a 6-speed manual transmission, which I'm still kind of getting over, but that's reality. I blame all those consumers who won't buy them. And it doesn't quite have the old Mazda rev the crap out of me feel, right? That's a whole other thing. But what it does have is really good gas mileage, a very comfortable interior, and, hold on cameraman, here we go. Really, really nice handling for a car that, as equipped, MSRP, under 20 grand. That is something that interested me right away. By the way, even though it is based on a Mazda 2, basically is, it's a popular platform. This platform has been used by Mazda in the past, in a car that you may have actually driven. That's right. The Mazda 2 platform was actually used, and is being used, in the CX-3, their tiny little crossover. I know, right? I didn't know that either. I had to double and triple check, because that car actually feels smaller than this one. So what we're going to do is, after a little bit of driving, which I have just completed, we're going to pull into this parking area, which we've done before, and give you a little walk around. I want to show you the exterior because I think it's a great looking little car. And this blue on it really pops. Then, I'm going to show you a little bit of the tech on the inside because it actually has some pretty cool stuff. Now, there's one more thing. We just had a lot of snow, and it's only had a day to melt, meaning this car's going to be covered in some snow, and we get to go bounding through it. And no, it is not all-wheel drive, not even close. But it does have something really important. This, a handbrake, woohoo! Which is really fun in the snow when you're being an irresponsible child like me. So, let's take a look on the outside, and let's do a little bit of a walk around. It's good looking, right? I think this is a great looking little car. It still has the front end like the other vehicle that they have in the Toyota fleet that's based on the Mazda 2. But that's a sedan. But what they managed to do is soften it a little bit, and then they gave it this wonderful flowing shape, which I really like. In fact, I think it looks so good that Toyota should be obligated to make this faster. We'll get to that in just one more moment. Now, this is the top of the line vehicle, and because of that, it comes with these 16-inch painted wheels. And I think they look pretty good. The Toyota tires have actually been okay in the snow too, by the way. Kind of happy about that. This one is the top of the line XLE. The Toyota Yaris is basically front wheel drive, economy vehicle, built specifically to get really good gas mileage and not to inspire much. In terms of excitement, they failed because it handles really well, despite the fact that it's not an independent rear suspension, it's a torsion beam rear suspension. But Mazda, once again, this is basically a Mazda, they have a way of baking in good handling regardless of the vehicle. Another thing they did, because it's the XLE, it has a couple little upgrades, including, check out that exhaust tip. Oh yeah, and we will be hearing the exhaust later on. Let me show you the cargo area while we're back here. It's not too shabby. One of the things about the Toyota Yaris, that's our cameraman's camera bag, And I could probably put about 4 pieces of decent sized luggage in there. The seats do fold down, not perfectly flat. Allow me to show you. And, well, if that seat was forward, it would fold a little bit. Let me try to grab it over here. Let me not lock myself out of it. By the way, let me show you this. Toyota couldn't even bother doing a Toyota key fob. That is a Mazda key fob with a Toyota emblem on it. So here's the problem. Can you see over here? This bump, this is why it's not perfectly flat. So unfortunately, even though there's some decent cargo room, this area here means that whatever you're lying down cannot be perfectly flat. There's more. I'm gonna shut this. I really do like the taillight design. All right. Now, I am about 6'1", just over when I wear boots. And I had that seat put pretty much all the way back. And now I'm going to attempt to sit behind myself. Drum roll, please. Yeah, no. It's not gonna work. I could probably find a way to drive kind of comfortably and have enough room, but at least I have some headroom. If you come over here, you can see there's a little tiny bit of headroom. This is a small economy car, and small economy people should apply if they're gonna sit in the back. All right, I'll meet you up front. I'm going to go and pop the hood. Alrighty. Now what you're about to see is a Mazda 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. Even though it has that on there. I'm sure that was expensive. Now, it's a single power plant, single transmission setup. As I said, when we were driving here, there is no manual option. That's probably my biggest disappointment, because I love Mazda manual transmissions. Next to maybe Honda, they're some of the best in the class. So this is a 106 horsepower 4-cylinder engine that makes 103 pound-feet of torque. It gets, and this is the part that's important, 32 miles per gallon city, 40 miles per gallon highway, and 35 mpg combined. And that is one of its best traits. It is super efficient. It's just not that much fun. If they could, I would say, put a turbocharger on it, please. Or there's a 2-liter that they have that's pretty powerful. It might fit. That'd be fun. It's not going to happen. Mazda has moved away from their sporting nature, and they're trying to move upmarket. And I can explain that a little bit better when we look at the interior, because I gotta admit, it's impressive. I'll meet you inside. But look at these seats. Now, this is not real leather, but this is part of the XLE model, and it's Softex leatherette, and it feels really good. With this package, you get the auto LED, DRL driving lights, rain sensing windshield wipers. The interior is really the point here. And this is what I'm really impressed with, because Mazda has taken interior design to a new level with their affordable cars. Let's turn it on. That does not look like a Mazda 2, by the way. Let's agree. Now, if you come down here, this is a touchscreen. However, I do recommend using this, the dial. It's very easy to use. When you find what you need, you hit it. That simple. But look at this. Can anybody tell me what this is really for? I think it's a palm rest. So you can not look at what you're doing as you're driving. and do this. Like, oh, okay, here's where my palm is. This is where I can go and rotate through this thing and kind of sort of do hands-free. There we go. Entertainment, perfect. I'm not allowed to play music because copyright stuff. But here's the cool part. I'm gonna rotate down here, and you have Pandora, you have Stitcher. You also get standard Android Auto and the Apple CarPlay, which I'm thrilled about. The thing about Apple CarPlay with me is because I own an Apple device, they work really well. Decent sized screen, but look at this. Remember, this is an inexpensive car. I love the stitching. This is soft touch material, very similar to the seats, so it's that fake leather, but it feels good. You have it on the doors as well, and it's perforated. This needs soft material, but it's okay. Once again, very inexpensive car. Steering wheel is leather wrapped. Once again, nice, especially considering that it's an inexpensive vehicle. And the overall design, I think, is very tasteful. Once again, given the fact that this is an inexpensive vehicle. I really like these vents too. You guys remember the old 280Zs, 240Zs, 260Zs? They had this style. I miss that. There's a couple other cars that have this, but I just think it's really cool. And it's just simple. Open vent, close vent, move around quite a bit. Everything about this car has logic to it. It's a very logical, simple layout for the HVAC system. HVAC, for some of you who get angry that I say HVAC. And this button's really important. This is your sport button. When you turn it on, a little light comes on that says sport on the dash. All right, let's see if we can get that, because that's important. So it's gonna be over here. Ready? Boom, sport. I'll try it again. Boom, sport. That gives you an injection of power. Not really. What it does is it changes around the response. It makes it a little bit more fun to drive when you're really putting your foot into it. It doesn't change the steering, doesn't change the suspension, braking, anything else. I know, right? I feel like Vin Diesel. No, I don't. I really don't. But I do feel like this car has a lot of spunk to it, but it just needs the power to match it. It's got that 1.5 engine that is begging for a little bit more juice. You know what I mean? So let's talk about this car one more time while you guys look at the back. I'm going to tell you about its pricing because that's really impressive. As equipped with all of these goodies, it comes out to $19,705. Bear in mind, this is the top trim level. That's the as-tested price. In that category, in terms of other cars that it can compete with, there aren't a lot that give you this many features for that price, which is really good. At the same time, there are other cars out there that compete with it that'll give you more power, that'll make it a little bit more roomy. I'm thinking of the Hyundai, the new Venue. That car is roomier, has more power, and is actually less expensive. But this does handle a little bit better, I think, around corners. It feels sportier. It looks like $1 million. I love the way it looks. And for Honda fans out there, well, they just can't get enough of their Honda. I said Honda, right? I meant Mazda fans. Mazda fans can't get enough of their little Mazdas. Honda fans too. I guess it works both ways. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan. Don't forget to go to TFLcar.com for more news, views, real world reviews. And we'll be doing more of this just in. I'll see you.